How you doing, brother?
How's it going?
Good, good. You're in Miami, yeah?
Yeah, I live in Miami. Yeah,
That's awesome, man. When did you make that move?
2 years ago, right before COVID. Like
Oh,
I
good
didn't
time.
even know. I didn't know it's coming, but I was like, I need to get out here.
Man, you came in at the right time. I feel like Miami was like able to just kind of do its thing
It
throughout
just
the
blew up.
throughout.
Like I didn't expect that it's gonna happen here. It's just crazy, right? What's happened in 2 years? Insane.
Yeah, it seems like, obviously there's been a big scene, for a while in Miami, but I think in the last year and a half, it feels like the city has put itself on the map even more. Is that something you've observed? Like, do you find yourself, at space every weekend, or what's it like?
I've been there, but kind of it's already passed by. I'm not going crazy, but it was super crazy last winter. Like it was
Uh,
first COVID winter. It was insane. I never see anything like this here. I mean, even comparing for what's going on now, it's way different. Like last year was just rise of underground. So many people, so many events. Like everyone just went nuts.
what prompted you to move to Miami?
The most part is just the weather. I just was tired from this cold stuff. And New York is nice. I love New York, but it's like it's too busy, it's just too much. So I want something more chill with palm trees and no snow.
That's fair, man. Yeah, I live in New York and I grew up here, but it's like I grew up in Manhattan and I live in Brooklyn now. And it's like, there's no way I could ever go live in Manhattan again because it's just like, it's a lot. And especially during the winter, like I always want to get out of the city. So it's definitely the warm climates are definitely on the mind.
The climate, yeah, it's a move. Yeah, Miami just got really crazy with all the prices right now in real estate. Last 2 years, they just like went out like crazy. But we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, it seems like everywhere in the States, as you just alluded to, obviously, were you in Russia before?
Yeah, I used to live in Russia, but I moved in 2010 to Brooklyn. And
Okay.
then I moved to Manhattan and then Ibiza and then Miami.
Nice. Wow. That's a pretty good run there. Well, I wanted to ask you about Russia. I think for a lot of Americans, like we're definitely aware of, the DJs that have had great careers that have come out of Russia, but I don't think it's a place that we necessarily think of as like having a big electronic scene. Could you just tell us kind of, what the scene is like there and, what it was like for you, coming up as a DJ there?
Back in the day when I was living there, it was very different. It was mostly like commercial, like house remixes of 80s popular Russian tracks. I never really liked it that much. Now I feel everyone is going crazy about new disco and indie dance, like Salamoon type of style. And this is just like, it's just way too much right now over there. It's a nice minimal scene as well, but between that is nothing really going on. And Russia is also very strict with all the like laws and stuff, so it's a different vibe there. But there are a lot of some good events. Like during the COVID right now, they're going back and forth to closing and opening. But when it's open, it's pretty dope.
Did you have like a residency there when you were kind of coming
No,
up or?
I actually went just like started DJ in my friend club just a little bit, and then like most, it just happened so quick, and I moved to States. I went here for the summer, and when I came back, I said, you know what, I'm probably gonna give it a shot and just go there.
Absolutely. How long were you living in New York City?
So 10 years.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
So I guess, kind of a follow up on that. It's been an interesting, I think just looking at the last 20 years in New York, it's pretty interesting because there's definitely been some highs, there's been some lows. It feels like right now the city's in a pretty good place in terms of, like having a lot of good venues and all that. But what was your experience living here, whether positive or negative in terms of the scene?
Honestly, it was positive. I liked New York, especially like from probably 2011 to 2016, where there was like more clubs like Ciela, Patch, Output, Szymanski. It was pretty dope vibes. Right now, I feel it's more about, I know probably now it's changing again, but back like before COVID, I feel it was like more about big brands and just big raves, and there was not enough like small clubs, and Manhattan all died out. Nothing really was going on there. So now I feel it's like coming back, some new places opening up, and I don't know, we'll see. But I always love New York. It's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you guys have a date at I think Superior Ingredients, which was, formerly Output. And it's interesting. I think you summed it up well. Like there's been obviously you have stuff like the Brooklyn Mirage, and that's a huge venue, but there have been a kind of an influx of warehouse parties and a bit more of that underground scene. And then Manhattan, there's all these new like bottle service clubs that are
Yeah,
booking underground artists, which, I think it's not the same as what Cielo used to be, but it's definitely an improvement on like just having Marquee and Tao, and it's like that's it. Um, but speaking of, you're about to go on this run here, and it's a co-headline with Mahalis. We had the opportunity to talk to him earlier in the week. I'm wondering if you could just touch on what it's like, kind of preparing for a tour, just a run of shows where you're co-headlining with a friend, versus going out on your own.
I mean, I honestly super excited, and I can't really wait till we like tour really gonna start up. Right now, it's just a lot of work, a lot of preparations, this and that. Yeah, so. But I'm really excited about this one. I'm really excited about Brooklyn too, because I used to love the Output roof, and I saw the video right now with the superior ingredients. Yeah, it looks really cool. So, and it's
Yeah.
also almost my birthday, so I think we're gonna have fun there.
All right, that'll be a big party then. Yeah, they've done a great job of updating the venue. How did you two meet? What's that relationship like?
Actually, I met Michalis like way in the beginning. He was like one of the like first who signed my music for his labels, like Material and some other stuff. And we've been keeping in touch. But I feel right we really get back together with Green Velvet, playing his La La Land show. So we played like couple together before before COVID in 2019. So yeah, that's why how like we reconnected, and then it's just like tour opportunity came up, like, so maybe it's going to be a good idea to do it, for both of us under this relief. So
Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to be doing any like back-to-back sets, or is it kind of just you each do your own thing?
we're actually thinking right now about that. Nothing like yet planned, but we'll see. Maybe we're going to have some surprises, so in some places.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the back-to-back thing is such a unique concept, just because it only exists in electronic music, right? Like you're never going to see two rock bands get on the stage with each other. I'm
Yeah.
wondering, just from your experience, for the fans, like what is it like? Is there a lot of preparation? Is it just free flowing? Have you ever had a back-to-back that you've been like, ooh, like that didn't go well?
Sometimes when like we play with someone and he starts mixing track like 40 seconds, you just basically put the track on and he starts mixing it right away. For me, it's just like, you know what, bro, just do it yourself. That's I can't really deal with that. So, but sometimes, yeah, when you're like all on the same vibe and you feel like each other, it can like take you on a really good journey. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's always interesting when there's artists like, Sasha and John Digweed who like do it all the time. And I think for them, it's like you do it so much with
I mean,
somebody.
they build for each other. They like, they from the same music and the same like vision. So I think that's like, because when if you play like minimal and someone plays techno, you can't really
Yeah.
you can't really like connect. It's gonna be very hard.
Is there anyone that, you look up to, or that you just would love to like have the opportunity to maybe play a back-to-back with?
It's a good question. I don't know. I would definitely like to play with Jamie and Curtis, but if go deeper, I don't know. I have to think about that one.
That's fair.
But definitely
It's a tough one.
tough. Yeah.
I think listening to your music over the years, obviously with everyone, it's like the more you learn, your music improves and the quality increases. I felt like just the kind of complexity of some of your tracks just over the years have increased a lot. Obviously, you had some early success with tracks like Into It, that Marco Carolla was playing out. But it feels like in the last few years, especially, you've brought a lot of depth to your production with like some really punchy bass lines and synths. Do you have any older tracks of yours that you still play out? And do you feel that, your sound has progressed over the years?
I still love Into It. It's still one of my favorite tracks I think I ever done. I didn't realize back in the then how cool the track was, but now I really love it. It's like minimal stuff, and I don't know. I like it. I like that one. To be honest, I don't really play that much like other older tracks. I'm trying to do like sounds is always changing. I like last year I've been doing like more melodic, minimal, like deep stuff. I don't know. Just trying to experiment because it's like hard to do like same thing all over again. So it's good when you have a style, but you have to like you have to be like, kind of like adjust between like your new tracks and your old tracks. I don't know. It's complicated, but it's like creative process. So you trying to come up with something new and save your style too. So
Yeah, absolutely. And you obviously have a pretty in-depth catalog. When you're playing out, I mean, do you find that I know there's certain DJs that will like only play their own music, and there's other guys who, it's like the total opposite of that. Where on that spectrum do you think you land?
I used to play all of my tracks like for a few years. I used to like just build up like set from only my tracks. Then I just started, it's cool, but you kind of like missing the point of DJing to bring some new music in, and just mix some other tracks. And I started just to like, I don't know, but I always play like at least 30% of my tracks, 40%. So yeah, it's kind of like that.
Is there anything you've been playing out, in the last 6 months or so that has just been like really having an impact on the dance floor?
Yeah, I have actually this track called Affirmation. Jamie played it maybe like 7 months ago, and I really want to put it out on my own label. So I'm working it right now. I just wanted like to make it good timing right now because with the relief tour is a lot of right now. It's too busy, and we also planning with release with Michalis on relief before the tour. So I'm probably gonna like postpone it maybe till March. So we will see.
Awesome. I just kind of going through your career. It's like 2018 felt like kind of the breakout year for you, right? Like you had that Elbow release, you put out Activator on Hot Creations, you started releasing on Relief Records. I think obviously, your career started way before that. I'm wondering if you could just kind of talk about, the years prior to 2018 and just what it's like kind of grinding as a DJ when there's so much competition and so many people putting on music and like you're just trying to get heard.
So honestly, I went 2016, I think. So before that, I was in New York all the time, and 2016, I went to Ibiza for a week, and it's like really because I've been there before in 2013, but it was like I was too young in that trip, and it was just going like crazy about the clubs and stuff. And 2016, I came back, and it's like really open for me, like with different like sites, and I really loved the island. And I decided, what, I want to try to live there, and I went for 2 years. 2017, I think that this is the year I was there like all summer, and it's really like changed my musical taste, like what I want to do, a lot of things. Then I came up like with Activator over there, and then Concentrate, and then all these tracks, they just like naturally just happened after it. And 2018 I went back again, and 2018 summer, after the summer, I came back to New York, and we moved to Manhattan. So basically this like was, I think like 2017 was like my real like starting point with the music, with my like style which I have now.
Yeah, so Ibiza, it's obviously a very special place, and I think anybody that goes there just says it's like you land and you just kind of feel it in the air. What was your experience like with that? What is it about that island that you think just kind of is so special?
I know. I think like the vibe and the culture. It's all built around the music over there, and it's very beautiful island itself too. But it's so connected with the nightlife. So they just two they go together, and I never see like any other places, especially I don't know in states. Not that much. Like when you land there, you have all these billboards with DJs. You're like you're landing in Ibiza and you already understand where you're at. This party, this party. You can't see this that much in states, unfortunately. But this I like the culture over there for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, it's incredible, and I mean, I think it's the easiest place in the world to be up until 8 a.m. and not even think about it, just because of how great the energy is, and everybody's kind of on the same vibe. You brought him up earlier, and obviously you're on this relief tour. Curtis, also known as Green Velvet, one of the biggest names in the scene, and it's been around for a long time.
He's a
Um,
great guy.
how did you guys first meet, and what's the relationship like with him?
So I actually met him first time in Ibiza, but I just came to him and introduced myself. We exchanged contacts, and it was summer 2018. And then this activator happened, the recent cut creations, and then I came up with this track, Concentrate, and it's been sitting like on my computer for 3 months, and I was like, what am I gonna do with this track? I said, you know what? I never sent anything to Green Velvet. Let me just try and see what's gonna happen. And I sent him this track, and like 30 minutes later, he replying to me, said, I love this. And after it just started so quickly. He said, you know what, let's put this track to release next week. I say, like, next week, really? Because I waited in Hot Creations release for 9 months. And then he just like, let's put next week. Trust me, it's going to be a good move. I said, okay, if you say so, I'm down for that. And we released it next week. And then it was December 2018. And in 2019, I already got invited to play with him in this festival in Tampa. Forgot the name. But yeah, and that's we properly met. And after this, just I don't know, he invited me to whole La La Land show in 2019, and we just became like really good friends. He's very good guy. I really respect him a lot.
Yeah, when you see him play, do you ever find yourself like trying to maybe take some inspiration from his style, or like you ever hear him play a song and you're just like, why didn't I find that?
Oh yeah, I like when he plays like in the clubs, like extended set, and like towards the end of it, he started to go like really deep in his catalog. Like some really nice like tracks that sometimes I never really heard. I heard him play only once this track, so it's pretty dope.
For you musically going forward, do you see yourself kind of staying in this lane that you're in? Do you ever think about like putting out an album? Are you kind of in a good place right now with your music?
I actually always I always think to do something. What can I do else? I tried this year. I tried to do like more this deep house minimal tracks. Now even like some vocal tracks. So I always try and I feel like you have to learn something new and just keep going. Otherwise, you just have to be like stuck in the same place. So I'm all for something like new. Just try to expand the new horizons.
Absolutely. When you're in the studio, do you have any like kind of favorite pieces of hardware or just like plugins for your software that like you find yourself kind of going to often?
I really like hardware, to be honest with you. Yeah, I my favorite ones for drums and like some kind of synthesizers is TR-8S and Roland MC707. But my favorite synth right now is Dave Smith Prophet. Is really like serious machine.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know the hardware thing. It's like once you get into it, it's a
Yeah,
it's a deep dive, and I think it's hard to go back because it's obviously like the highest quality of the sound.
Yeah, plugins also cool. You know, if you're traveling somewhere, like on a plane, or you just try to get like some music going, some nice plugins over there you can use, and they sound dope, and it's not a really big difference. Just about the feeling, you know, when you can like touch things. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of wrapping up here, I always like to ask this, and again, as with the B2B question, I know it can be a hard one to answer, but is there anyone that is kind of on the come up, or just that you've been listening to a lot recently that you think is making really great music?
Man, I really like the Beats put some dope music. It's different, but in style like of Jamie, it's pretty dope. I've been listening to too many like vinyl only minimal stuff lately. I don't know. It just makes me something different. Yet I don't even know this guy's names, but it sounds dope. I don't know. You know, it's different.
That's funny, man. Yeah, that's serious deep cuts. Wheats has made a nice transformation. He's really in that like minimal sound now, and he's making a name for himself. Um, well, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to come on today. Really appreciate it. The tour is starting in January, I think, or February.
I think February 3rd is our first day.
That's right, and we'll be partying on your birthday in New York City, man.
Yeah, please come. I'll see you there.
Awesome. Have a good one.
All right, peace. Thank
See
you.
ya.